Have you ever wondered why you make the same types of decisions over and over? Why certain situations energize you while others drain you completely? Or why you're drawn to specific people, careers, and life experiences? The answer lies in understanding the deep psychological patterns that operate beneath your conscious awareness. Your dominant archetypes. These aren't just abstract concepts from psychology textbooks. Archetypes are the fundamental forces that shape how you see the world, what motivates your actions, and where you find meaning in life. They're like the operating system running in the background of your personality, influencing everything from your career choices to your relationships to your deepest fears and desires. The foundation of this work comes from Carl Jung, the pioneering Swiss psychiatrist who revolutionized our understanding of the human psyche. Jung proposed that beneath our individual consciousness lies a deeper layer, the collective unconscious, containing universal patterns of human experience. These patterns or archetypes represent the fundamental ways humans have organized their experience throughout history. Think of your personality like an iceberg. The visible tip represents your conscious thoughts and behaviors, what you are aware of day to day. But the massive structure beneath the surface, hidden from view, contains these archetypal forces that actually determine the shape and direction of your life. Most people go through life reacting to these unconscious patterns without ever understanding what's driving them. Here's what makes this different from other personality systems. Instead of categorizing you into a fixed type, archetypal psychology recognizes that you contain all patterns within you. But 3 typically dominate your psychological landscape. These 3 create your unique archetypal signature, the distinctive blend that makes you who you are. Understanding your dominant archetypes isn't about limiting yourself or accepting that this is just how I am. It's about gaining conscious awareness of your deepest motivations so you can work with them intentionally rather than being unconsciously controlled by them. When you understand your archetypal patterns, you gain the power to express their highest potential while avoiding their shadow expressions. The 12 Universal Archetypes. The innocent approaches life with genuine wonder, trust, and an almost childlike faith in the goodness of existence. They possess a remarkable ability to maintain hope even in difficult circumstances and often serve as beacons of positivity for others. Think of someone who genuinely believes that things will work out, who sees the silver lining in every cloud, and who maintains their core values regardless of external pressures. In their highest expression, innocents bring renewal, fresh perspective, and remind us of what truly matters. They're often drawn to simple pleasures, nature, family time, genuine human connection, and help others reconnect with these fundamental sources of happiness. However, their shadow side emerges when their optimism becomes denial. They may ignore real problems, fail to take necessary precautions, or become easily manipulated by those with less pure intentions. The growth journey for the innocent involves learning discernment without becoming cynical, maintaining their essential hope while developing practical wisdom. The Everyperson represents our fundamental human need for belonging and connection. They value authenticity, fairness, and genuine relationships above personal achievement or recognition. These individuals are often the glue that holds groups together. They're the reliable friend, the supportive colleague, the neighbor you can count on. What makes the Everyperson special is their ability to see the common humanity in everyone. They naturally empathize with others' struggles and create environments where people feel accepted and valued. They excel at collaboration and often serve as mediators during conflicts because others trust their fair judgment. Their shadow appears when the desire to belong overrides their individuality. They may go along with group decisions they disagree with, suppress their unique talents to avoid standing out, or develop resentment toward those who seem to have it easier. The Everyperson's path to growth involves learning that they can belong while still honoring their individual gifts and perspectives. The hero is driven by an inner fire to prove themselves through brave action and meaningful contribution. They naturally rise to challenges, stand up for the underdog, and refuse to accept the status quo when they see injustice or problems that need solving. Heroes possess remarkable resilience and the ability to persevere when others give up. At their best, heroes inspire others to find their own courage and create positive change in the world. They're willing to take risks, face their fears, and sacrifice personal comfort for a greater cause. Their determination often accomplishes what others thought impossible. The hero's shadow emerges when their need for challenge becomes compulsive. They may create drama where none exists, try to rescue people who don't want help, or believe they're the only one capable of solving problems. True mastery for the hero comes from learning that real strength includes vulnerability, and that sometimes the most courageous action is knowing when not to fight. The caregiver finds deep fulfillment in supporting others' growth and well-being. They possess natural empathy and often know what someone needs before that person knows it themselves. Caregivers create safe spaces where people can heal, grow, and flourish. They're drawn to roles where they can make a difference in others' lives. In their highest expression, caregivers provide essential emotional and practical support that helps individuals and communities thrive. They offer unconditional love, patient guidance, and the kind of nurturing that heals wounds and builds confidence. However, their shadow side appears when giving becomes compulsive or controlling. They may neglect their own needs to the point of burnout, struggle with boundaries, or unconsciously create dependence in others to feel needed. The caregiver's growth journey involves learning to fill their own cup first and give from abundance rather than depletion. The explorer possesses an insatiable hunger for new experiences, places, and ways of being. They're driven to discover who they really are by testing themselves against different environments and challenges. Freedom isn't just important to them, it's essential for their psychological well-being. Explorers bring fresh perspectives, courage to venture into the unknown, and the ability to adapt quickly to changing circumstances. They often serve as scouts for the rest of society, discovering new territories, whether physical, intellectual, or spiritual. Their shadow manifests as chronic restlessness or fear of commitment. They may abandon projects or relationships when the initial excitement fades, constantly seeking the next new thing without ever going deep. The explorer's path to mastery involves learning that true freedom comes from within and that they can commit to people and projects while still maintaining their essential autonomy. The rebel possesses an acute sense of what's wrong with current systems and feels compelled to challenge authority and push for change. They question rules, traditions, and power structures that seem unfair or outdated. Their rebellious spirit often catalyzes important social evolution. At their best, rebels serve as society's early warning system, identifying problems that others prefer to ignore. They have the courage to speak truth to power and fight for those who can't fight for themselves. Many important social movements have been initiated by rebel energy. The shadow side emerges when rebellion becomes an end in itself rather than a means to positive change. They may become perpetually angry, destructive without purpose, or rebel against everything without building alternatives. The rebel's growth involves channeling their revolutionary spirit toward clear positive goals rather than just opposing what they don't like. The lover seeks meaningful connections and rich emotional experiences. This archetype isn't just about romantic relationships. It's about a passionate engagement with life itself. Lovers bring warmth, intimacy, and appreciation for beauty wherever they go. They value authentic emotional expression and create environments where people feel truly seen and appreciated. In their highest form, lovers model what deep human connection looks like. They help others open their hearts, express their feelings, and experience the full richness of emotional life. They often have a refined aesthetic sense and help others appreciate beauty in art, nature, and human expression. The shadow side appears when their need for connection becomes desperate or controlling. They may lose themselves in relationships, become possessive or jealous, or use emotional manipulation to maintain closeness. The lover's path to mastery involves developing a secure relationship with themselves first, so they can love others from wholeness rather than neediness. The creator possesses a burning need to bring something new into existence. Whether they're artists, entrepreneurs, inventors, or innovators in any field, creators are driven to express their unique vision and leave something meaningful behind. They see possibilities where others see limitations and have the persistence to turn dreams into reality. At their best, creators enrich the world with new beauty, solutions, and ways of thinking. They inspire others to tap into their own creative potential and show us what's possible when imagination meets determination. They often serve as bridges between the world of potential and the world of manifestation. Their shadow emerges through crippling perfectionism or creative paralysis. They may become so focused on creating the perfect masterpiece that they never finish anything, or so afraid of criticism that they don't share their creations at all. Some creators become so absorbed in their work that they neglect relationships and practical responsibilities. Growth for the creator involves learning to love the creative process itself, not just the end result, and balancing creative expression with human connection. The Jester approaches life with playfulness, wit, and a healthy irreverence for things that others take too seriously. They possess natural comedic timing and the ability to lighten any situation with appropriate humor. Jesters remind us that life is meant to be enjoyed, and that laughter truly can be the best medicine. In their highest expression, jesters provide essential emotional relief during difficult times and help others maintain perspective when life becomes overwhelming. They often see truth more clearly than others because they're not invested in maintaining serious facades. Their humor can cut through pretense and reveal important insights. The shadow side appears when humor becomes a compulsive defense mechanism, or when fun-seeking becomes irresponsible escapism. They may use jokes to deflect from serious conversations, avoid taking responsibility for their actions, or hurt others with inappropriate humor. The Jester's growth journey involves learning when to be serious and how to use their gift of lightness in service of deeper purposes. The Sage is driven by an insatiable desire to understand how the world works. They're natural researchers, analysts, and teachers who find deep satisfaction in learning and sharing knowledge. Sages often serve as advisors and guides, helping others navigate complex situations with wisdom and insight. At their best, sages provide essential perspective and understanding that helps individuals and societies make better decisions. They can see patterns that others miss, think several steps ahead, and offer guidance based on deep understanding rather than surface-level thinking. Their shadow manifests as analysis paralysis, becoming so focused on gathering information and understanding complexity that they never take action. They may also become intellectual snobs, dismissing others' perspectives or becoming detached from the messy realities of human emotion and practical life. The Sage's path to mastery involves learning to balance thinking with feeling and analysis with action. The Magician sees beyond surface appearances to understand the deeper forces that shape reality. They possess unusual insight into how change happens and often serve as catalysts for transformation in others. Magicians can envision possibilities that others can't see and have the ability to inspire others to believe in and work toward those visions. In their highest form, magicians serve as agents of positive transformation, helping individuals and organizations evolve beyond their current limitations. They often appear at crucial moments when breakthrough thinking is needed, bringing fresh perspective and the ability to reframe problems as opportunities. The shadow side emerges when their power is used for manipulation or personal gain rather than service to others. They may become controlling, deceptive, or so focused on their grand visions that they lose touch with practical concerns and human needs. The Magician's growth involves ensuring their transformational work serves the greater good, rather than just their personal agenda. The ruler naturally takes charge and creates structure. They feel responsible for the well-being of their family, team, organization, or community, and work tirelessly to build something stable and lasting. Rulers have natural authority and the ability to organize people and resources effectively. At their best, rulers create environments where others can thrive. They provide security, clear direction, and the kind of stable leadership that allows communities and organizations to flourish. They're willing to make difficult decisions and bear the weight of responsibility that comes with leadership. Their shadow appears when their need for control becomes excessive, or when they start believing their own authority is more important than the people they are supposed to serve. They may become rigid, micromanaging, or focused on maintaining power rather than using it wisely. The ruler's path to mastery involves learning to lead through empowerment rather than control, and remembering that true authority comes from service to others. A comprehensive method for discovering your top 3 archetypes. Now that you understand each archetype, it's time to identify your unique combination. Most people have a primary archetype that shows up consistently across their life, a secondary archetype that provides balance and additional strengths, and a tertiary archetype that often represents either a developing strength or a shadow aspect they're learning to integrate. Step 1. The recognition response. As you read through the archetypal descriptions, which ones gave you that immediate "yes, that's me" response? This gut reaction is important because it often bypasses our mental defenses and self-concepts to reveal deeper truths. Write down the 4 to 5 archetypes that resonated most strongly, even if you're not sure why. Pay attention to both positive and negative reactions. Sometimes we strongly reject an archetype because we recognize its shadow aspects in ourselves, which can actually indicate it's one of our dominant patterns operating unconsciously. Step 2. Life pattern analysis. Look at the major themes that have played out across your life. What situations do you find yourself in repeatedly? What types of challenges do you face again and again? What kinds of people are you consistently drawn to or in conflict with? For example, if you repeatedly find yourself in caretaking roles, whether as the friend everyone comes to for advice, the employee who takes on extra work, or the family member who organizes gatherings, this suggests strong caregiver energy. If you consistently end up leading projects or being asked to take charge in crisis situations, this points to ruler archetype influence. Step 3. Peak experience examination. Think about the moments in your life when you felt most alive, fulfilled, and authentically yourself. What were you doing? What archetypal energy were you expressing? Were you creating something beautiful or innovative? Creator. Leading a team through a difficult challenge. Hero ruler. Exploring a new place or idea. Explorer. Having a deep, meaningful conversation. Lover. Helping someone through a difficult time. Caregiver. These peak moments often reveal your archetypal strengths in their purest form. Step 4. Stress and crisis response. How do you automatically respond when under pressure or facing a crisis? This is crucial because stress tends to strip away our personas and reveal our core archetypal patterns. Do you immediately start researching and analyzing the situation? Sage. Take charge and start organizing a response. Ruler. Look for ways to lighten the mood. Jester. Retreat and seek freedom from the pressure. Explorer. Try to help and support others affected. Caregiver. Your automatic crisis responses reveal your deepest archetypal programming. Step 5. Fear and motivation deep dive. This might be the most revealing step. Look at the core fears and drives listed for each archetype. Which ones create the strongest emotional response when you read them? Your deepest fears and most compelling motivations are direct windows into your dominant archetypal patterns. For instance, if the thought of being controlled or losing your freedom creates immediate anxiety, explorer energy is likely strong in you. If the fear of being unloved or alone feels visceral, lover archetype is probably dominant. If you feel energized by the idea of making a meaningful difference but terrified of appearing weak or ineffective, hero energy is likely central to who you are. Step 6. Integration and shadow work. Consider not just the positive aspects of each archetype, but also their shadow expressions. Which archetypal shadows do you recognize in yourself? Sometimes our secondary or tertiary archetypes show up primarily through their shadow aspects, until we learn to integrate them consciously. For example, you might be primarily a caregiver, but notice ruler shadow qualities like being controlling or overly critical when you're stressed. This suggests that learning to express healthy ruler energy, clear boundaries, appropriate authority would support your growth. Understanding your archetypal combination. Once you've identified your top 3 archetypes, consider how they work together. The primary archetype is usually the most developed and conscious. This is how you naturally show up in the world and where your greatest strengths lie. It's also where your main growth challenges will be found. The secondary archetype often provides balance or additional capabilities that support your primary archetype. For instance, a hero with strong sage secondary learns to research and plan before charging into action, while a creator with caregiver secondary creates art that serves and heals others. The tertiary archetype might represent emerging strengths you're developing or shadow aspects you're learning to integrate. It often shows up during times of growth, crisis, or major life transitions. Practical applications for life mastery. Career and life purpose. Understanding your archetypal makeup provides invaluable guidance for career choices and life direction. A creator-explorer-rebel combination might thrive as an innovative entrepreneur or independent artist, while a caregiver-sage ruler might excel in healthcare administration or educational leadership. The key is finding work that honors your primary archetype, while allowing expression of your secondary patterns. When your career aligns with your archetypal nature, work becomes energizing rather than draining because you're expressing your authentic self. Relationships and communication. Archetypal awareness transforms how you understand and navigate relationships. Each archetype has different needs, communication styles, and ways of showing love. A lover expresses care through emotional connection and quality time, while a caregiver shows love through acts of service and practical support. Understanding others' archetypal patterns helps you communicate in ways they can receive and appreciate. You learn to speak their archetypal language, rather than assuming everyone processes the world the way you do. Personal growth and development. Your archetypal combination provides a roadmap for personal growth. Your primary archetype shows where your greatest gifts lie and where your main challenges will be found. Your secondary archetype often provides resources for addressing your primary archetype's blind spots. For example, a hero might need to develop sage qualities, thinking before acting, or caregiver qualities, considering how their actions affect others, to become more effective. A creator might benefit from developing explorer energy, willingness to experiment, or ruler energy, ability to organize and complete projects. The journey of integration. The ultimate goal isn't to become perfectly balanced across all 12 archetypes. That would be impossible and unnecessary. Instead, the goal is to fully express your unique archetypal combination while developing enough awareness and skill with other archetypal energies to navigate life's complexities effectively. This is what Jung called individuation, becoming a whole, fully realized individual who can consciously choose how to respond to life situations rather than being unconsciously driven by archetypal patterns. When you achieve this integration, you stop being a victim of your unconscious patterns and start using them as powerful tools for creating the life you want. Remember, this is a lifelong journey. Your archetypal understanding will deepen over time, and you may discover new aspects of yourself as you continue to grow and evolve. The key is to remain curious, compassionate, and committed to understanding yourself more deeply.